Also new today, the New York Times reporting fired National Security Advisor Michael Flynn failed to report income from Russian-linked entities on one of 2 financial disclosure forms that were just released yesterday. Now, the Senate Intelligence Committee rejected Flynn's request for immunity in exchange for testimony in their Russia investigation. That also happened this last week. The president tweeted his support for Flynn seeking immunity, calling the investigations a, quote, witch hunt. And then this morning, he's tweeted again saying the, quote, real story, as Kelly O'Donnell was telling us, is about surveillance. Congressman Ted Lieu of California replying, quote, agents do surveillance on 1, suspected agents of foreign power, or 2, suspected criminal activity. Which is it, Mr. President? Joining us is Congressman Ted Lieu. And Representative, thanks for being here with us. Why did you tweet that? What did you want from that?
Thank you, Richard, for your question. I want a full investigation into this issue because U.S. officials only do surveillance for one of 2 reasons. Either there is a suspected agent of a foreign power or there's suspected criminal activity. So let's find out what is there. And by the way, the president himself can declassify these documents. So if Donald Trump has nothing to hide, he can declassify these documents and show the American people what's going on.
And are you alluding to the documents that, again, Adam Schiff, the lead Democrat on the House Intel Committee, is alluding to? Also, what we understand that Chairman Nunes had seen. Is that what you're alluding to?
Yes, and let me tell you how ridiculous Chairman Nunes' political stunt was. He goes to the White House and gets these documents from White House officials. The next day, he calls his press conference saying, I've got these secret documents showing surveillance, and I've got to run back to the White House and brief them on the very documents the White House handed him the day before. Chairman Nunes needs to resign. This entire political stunt was designed to mislead the American people.
So Nunes is saying that is not the case. We're on the question now of if the House investigation is even worthwhile moving forward with at this moment, that we should really be looking at the Senate at this moment.
Right. If the White House wants to clear its name, it would ask Chairman Nunes to resign because no one believes him anymore. But if the White House has something to hide, it's going to fight real hard to keep Chairman Nunes there. He is entirely partisan. He's trying to mislead the American people, and we really cannot believe him anymore.
Well, what might turn this around? You know, the Senate said no, but if the House Intel Committee says yes to Michael Flynn, which we were talking about a second ago, and give him immunity, might that turn this around? And your confidence, in other words, in the House effort right now?
That's a great question, Richard. As a former prosecutor myself, I know that people who believe they are innocent typically don't ask for immunity. So this is a very huge news break that Michael Flynn is asking for immunity. It shows that he has information that he believes the American public wants to see. This also highlights why we need a special prosecutor, because only the Department of Justice itself can decline prosecution over immunity issues. A congressional committee cannot offer that on behalf of the department, and that's why we need to appoint a special prosecutor in addition to an independent commission to look at these issues.
You know your constituents as well as constituents of Republican members of Congress. They want some progress here. They want to see something coming out of Congress. This because the approval rating, as you so well know, is not necessarily high on the Hill. As we move forward to issues around the Russia connection question, which seems to be overpowering the discussion of issues such as the tax and budget, which we expect in the next couple of weeks to be hitting the House. What do you expect? What do you want from that piece of legislation?
Thank you, Richard, for that question. Let's just take a step back and consider how shocking it is that the president's associates and maybe the president himself is under investigation by the FBI for possible collusion with Russia. At stake is the legitimacy of the Trump administration. My view is there needs to be a pause of what's going on. Congress should not be voting on Supreme Court lifetime appointments or on major tax reform. We need to have a pause and see what this FBI investigation shows.
You're saying stop everything until we answer these questions about the Russia connection question. Is that reasonable?
We should stop everything that is not routine. Absolutely. We should make no major decisions because we don't even know if we have a legitimate president.
That could mean the country is shut down because we don't have money.
Routine matters, go forward, but major decisions on Supreme Court nominations and on major tax reform should not occur.
Okay. When it comes to the budget, you are saying yes. When it comes to tax reform, you're saying no.
Yes, obviously we need to continue moving forward in the budget, but we don't need to do major tax reform. We don't even know if our president is legitimate.
All right. Representative Ted Lieu, California. Thank you.